Good evening. We are wrapping up Sunday, and we had a wonderful Easter Sunday, and we are just wrapping up. And for those of you that are keeping tabs, I'm sure you're probably annoyed with all the text notifications and all the go live notifications and the posts. But we're just going to do a quick recap. I'm going to give you guys some tips for business. There's a lot of comments and questions I've had regarding business and what to worry about and what not to worry about. But you guys have watched this. We haven't done a great job of actually codifying everything and giving it to you in a manner in which it's easily understandable. In the last week, in the last 4 days, we have codified and created the blueprint for a $20 million a year business. And it's just going to take us about 2 months to implement it. We've cracked the code thanks to everybody that we've worked with, all of our partnerships, and all of the people that have given us the information to be able to do this at such a quick pace. We've digested Russell Brunson, Alex Hormozy, Grant Cardone, and we've applied the things that they tell everyone to do, and we've applied them in the manner at which we'll get that result. So this is, like I said, you guys are watching a transformation. We will look back on this in the very near future and say, hey, that's where it all changed. For us, it's so funny because it's not even about the money. It's that the reason why we were able to do this so quickly and so successfully is because we had a bigger game. We changed our necessity level. I caught myself running in the regular routine of things with a fairly successful company, and I was kind of not necessarily in a rut, but I was at a plateau, and I didn't have a game that I could play that would get bigger results. And the reason I didn't have that is because I didn't have the space and the intention to do that, to create that. And so we are just super excited. We're super happy. We hope to provide everyone a ton of value. I'm actually going to be having one of our team members here, a good friend of mine. His name is Ed. He's going to be reaching out to you for any questions that you have. I've asked him to see if he can provide $10,000 worth of value to you via consultation. And that's totally free, no obligation. We actually are not really taking anyone else on at this point in time. We have 4 individuals that we're working with, 4 companies that we're going to, in the next month, preferably the next week to 2 weeks, we are going to transform their businesses. We're going to help their businesses run more efficiently. We're going to get them more clients. We're going to increase their revenue. We're going to remove them from the business, and we're going to systematize their businesses so they can increase their revenue. They can hire people to fill those spots, and then they're really going to be in a much happier sort of state. Now, freedom is the new millionaire. In the past, this millionaire thing was a target. I want to be a millionaire. I want to be a millionaire. And because not everyone, but a lot of people have figured out the key. They've kind of cracked the code to becoming a millionaire, or much quicker than people used to do in the past. But then the next problem that gets solved is, how do I have my happiness? How do I have my work-life balance? How can I spend time with my family, take vacations when I want? Freedom is the new millionaire. This is what's most important to people once you get to a certain level of income. And it doesn't have to be, $5 million, $10 million, $20 million. It could just be, $200K, $300K, $500K would be wonderful for some people. I just really emphasize the importance of continuing to find a big game to play, creating a set of boundaries, and setting a target. This is the number one thing we did. We just created the environment, and then we went in with all of our intention, and it just goes, and everything happens. We never really thought it was going to happen the way it did, but the amount of revenue that we created in just a week is astronomical. It's absolutely insane. And so we actually are going to have and provide and document the entire process, the blueprint to a $20 million company. And we're going to show that through content in a final production. We're going to show it all the way through exactly how we do it. And we want to just set a record and really make a name for ourselves in in that regard, just this explosive growth. And we, like I said before, we actually credit those other people that I mentioned, Hormozy, Brunson, Grant Cardone, by just simply following the things that is in their books and that they've discussed via webinar and their content. That's the way we did it. We didn't even make this stuff up. It's nothing original. We didn't create anything. We leveraged the information that other people put in books and in content, which is kind of ironic because in my content, I'm not a big proponent of reading books because the reason why, I just want to further qualify that, I'm not a huge proponent of reading books all the time for self-improvement, because it becomes hard to differentiate what's true and what's not, and what was true for that person. And they got it mostly right, but this one little thing that they wrote in there makes you apply something wrong. And that's what makes it so hard you have to know what's true and what's not. Now, it is fairly easy sometimes to sort through that, but in other times it's not. Assign the correct importance to that, whatever you're trying to apply. And so what we did is we said, well, we're going to get rid of everything else. We're going to assume everything else we don't need. And these people that have scaled $100 million companies, we trust that they can do it. And we can see that the principles in the books that I'm talking about, the $100 million offer, such a great book. You have to get that book. And we see that those principles work as we apply them. We see them unfold. So make sure that the only thing you need to do is be in action. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business owner, if you're trying to get to the next level and you want to overcome whatever that barrier is, create a deadline, set your intention on it, and refuse any other result other than the actual outcome that you want. Some things that are not important, that aren't super significant, that you don't have to worry about when you're in a business, no matter where you're at in your journey, is things like the logo design, how the website looks, what the business name is, what the brand is, getting business cards, getting an EIN, getting a business bank account. And there are some exceptions where you do need a business bank account to operate, but all of the companies that I've ever started, with the exception of this one, because we knew we were going to be taking in money right away, is all of the stuff that all of the companies I ever started, I was creating revenue, and I had an idea through operation what the brand was going to feel like and what the products were actually going to be. I knew all of that before I went out and got my EIN and filed my operating agreements and my articles and got the business bank account. So just keep that in mind. Don't let those things stop you. All of those things, like the business cards, the logo, the website, the brand, you don't just get the result. Get what the result is. Get the product, get it sold, get it delivered. Nobody's gonna care that you don't have a brand. There are some exceptions with this, okay? There are some exceptions in some companies and some brands. You need to have that stuff. But for the most part, if you're an entrepreneur, just get the product. Get what you need to get done. Get your product, sell it, get it into their hands. Done. Do that 10 or 15 or 20 times, collect some money, then worry about the website, then worry about the business bank account, then worry about your EIN, your logo, your graphics, all that stuff, your copy, your follow-up sequences. Like, get the result that you're trying to get, backfill it with all that stuff. There are some additional things that are very important when you're first starting. So the things I just talked about were the unimportant things. The important things are going to be promoting your product, getting your product in front of people, getting people to look at it. The message that isn't so important. It's not the message. It's that you are sending a message. You can always course correct when you're not getting the result that you want. So the action or the doingness of it is what you need before you can even have the opportunity to course correct. So promote your product, get it out there to people, connect with people that are in your industry, connect with people that would use your product or know somebody that would use your product or service, or just connect with like-minded people like you in your industry. So you can go parallel like that with people in your industry. One of the reasons I was able to scale the appointment setter so quickly is because I had a very, very good partnership with a very good company that was well established. And we just simply put a product on some traffic, and it did so well, so fast. And the majority of the success on the appointment setter is because of that partnership. That's what created that explosive growth. And anytime you have explosive growth, you really just have to look at what created that and then do that again. So that's what we're doing in this regard for this company. This is the way we're going to get to 20 million. We'll be at $2 million a month within 3 months, like 100%. And the way that we're going to do that is by taking a really good product and putting it on traffic. That's all we're doing. It's just the basic principles of the offer, the basic principles of the funnel from the 2 books, $100 Million Offer and Funnel Hackers Cookbook, and essentially the 10X rule. Those 3 books that we are applying right now, and we're applying the 10X to Alex Hormozi's book. We're applying the 10X where we can to Russell Brunson's book. So those are the components, and that's what's